Well, today I get to test out something I thought that I would actually never use, and that is a robot mower. But as the property has grown and as things have started to get crazier and crazier, I actually got an offer to get one of these and test it out for this video, so that's what we're doing today. And hopefully it's gonna help me in the future to do some areas that I just can't get to all of the time, and also just to kind of act as a second set of hands, if you will, to help me get some of this stuff done on a weekly basis. First and foremost here, I want you to know that Momotion did send me this mower in order to make this video. They did not pay me to make the video, but they did send the machine so that I could test it out and give you some of my thoughts here on how it's gonna operate for me. And my opinions here as we go forward are my own as well. So I just wanted you to know all of that info right up front. So a couple features here that I want to go over just quickly before we get to the testing portion. So this is a wire-free system. A lot of these robot mowers, when they first came out, had to have a wire put into the ground for the perimeter so that it would know exactly where to stop. From what I was told, that worked very well, but this being a wireless system is very nice because you're able to do multi-zones, it's able to drive between those zones, and you just don't have to worry about burying anything, and this allows you to do those zones, which is very, very nice. Second thing is it uses an RTK system. RTK stands for real-time kinematic. RTK GPS systems use additional data from a nearby base station to improve the accuracy of the GPS data. This can provide positioning data that's much more accurate to within a lot closer distance there. This one is using 3D vision and enhanced RTK positioning. This should allow you to use this in environments that are challenging, such as areas that might be obstructed by trees or rooftops. All of my plots down here are in an open field area, so that's not really a challenge for me. But with this RTK system, you should be able to use it in much more challenging environments. And the other thing to highlight on this one is that it is all-wheel drive. I do have some slope in one of the plot areas, which I plan to test as part of this video as well, but the all-wheel drive system allows you to get through some of those humps and bumps, and then also helps with the slope. Being able to do different zones as well was something that's important to me, and this can handle that, and you can also change the height of cut between those different things, which works well because I have plots that are different heights of cut, so being able to move between those, then also change the height of cut and mow those is something that I think is going to be a really great feature. Okay, so I have this thing installed. It is now sitting on the charging station, and I have the app downloaded. So I'm gonna get to trying to figure out how to make it mow this little square area right here. The first thing I'm gonna do is check this area and make sure that I don't have any debris, which there really shouldn't be anything except some possible mulch that comes in here. So I'm just gonna pick up anything that I find, move that off of here, and then I should be able to start setting up the map for this area. So enter the map. I want to be about 6 inches away from the edge or so. Somewhere probably right about there. So I'm gonna hit start, and we're just gonna drive it around. It's hard to get it to go completely straight. I think that should be...
Task area complete.
Let's go to work.
So you have to create the channel, or you did the channel to start?
So channel. That's what I'm doing right now.
You're creating the channel?
Yep. Now I hit this to go to the channel. And now go backwards. Mow. Once only. Time setting now. Area 1. Confirm. Fine cutting. Okay, so I'm gonna set this right here to... We'll see what it does. It says it's gonna take 94 minutes
Okay.
to do that. So let's start it and see what happens. Okay, self-checking in progress. Okay, it's lowering the height now. If that's all the louder it is, that's crazy. So first thing that I noticed right off the bat was just how quiet it is. I honestly didn't even think that it was working properly because it just didn't even sound like it was cutting, but I just checked a grass blade and it's definitely cutting. I'll go grab another one and show you what the cut looks like. So I'll see if you can see this. And these are obviously fresh, brand new blades, so I'll have to look at how long they last and how all that part works too. But so now it's done the perimeter passes and it's just going back and forth this way. So you'll see it come to the end here. It's gonna turn around and go back this other direction. So you might say, well, it's not cutting off much grass, and this plot was really not overgrown or anything like that, but that's really the point of this type of system anyway. And what I typically have been doing manually with my other mowers is mowing it frequently enough that you're just barely removing any grass blade. That just causes the least amount of stress. So this is only taking off probably, you know, just a little bit of the top, but that's gonna actually be the best case scenario in terms of grass health. And why these make a lot of areas look a lot better is because most people can't get to that frequency of mowing that they really need to do, and this kind of does that for you. So I really didn't expect the stripes to be this good, honestly. This is my tall fescue, and there's a little bit of wobble to it, but you know, just for the machine going back and forth, I think it looks better than I expected it would as far as the stripes go. So the only issue that I was really having was that when I first set the channel, for some reason it thought that the charging station was pointed that direction. So the channel would come in and then it would try to go that way and turn, but there wasn't enough room because of this post being here. So inside the app, when you're connected to the charging station, there was a spot, and I can show it right here, that it said relocate the charging station. So that's what I just did. And now I'm going to try to recreate this channel and see if it will work now to come back to this area and charge. Go out to the zone here. Okay. Now I'm going to click this again.
Channel planning.
Come right back into here. So that says completed. Save
Channel
it.
complete.
Now I believe the channel looks correct, so let's hit here on return to charge.
Start recharging. Start charging.
There we go. I wanted to touch quickly on the battery life that I saw too on this first mow. This is about a 3,000 square foot plot of fescue right here. I set it to the fine setting, so that's supposed to go slow, and actually was supposed to cut it double cut, but because I wasn't cutting off too much grass today, I stopped it after this one direction going this way, just to see how it would look at that point. I also sped it up a bit towards the end, probably the last 4 or 5 passes. I manually sped up the speed just to see how it would cut like that. And because I wasn't cutting a whole lot, I didn't notice a much difference in the cut quality. But after I just put it back on the charger, it was sitting at 46%. So it actually didn't really take too much battery. I thought it might go through that a little faster. But the beauty of it, once you have the channels and everything set in your zones, is that as soon as it needs to charge, it will drive back there, get onto the charger, and then go back and start mowing when it's back charged. First mow with this thing, I didn't really know what to expect whatsoever. As I said, never anticipated that I would really ever have a robot mower because I absolutely love mowing. But the reason for this is that I do have so much area to cover now. So if it's possible for me to get a few things done without me having to be standing there walking behind a mower, that would certainly be nice. So one other area that I wanted to test was over here because I have about 3,500 square feet and it has a very good slope right through here, which I'll show you. So this thing being all-wheel drive, because most home lawns aren't perfectly flat, so going through this sloped area over here is something that I just want to show you. And I just set up this map, again, very, very simple, and it just started mowing this area, and we'll see how it does. Pretty cool, huh? I didn't set any zones there on this little thing just because you should be able to set a no-go zone so that it doesn't hit into anything if you have a swing set or whatever you have. But this little section right here, I just wanted to see what would happen if I let the bumper sort of do the work, and it figured out a way around it. I guess I would say if there's anything that I saw as far as any downside so far was that I had just a couple issues inside of the app. Every once in a while it would just show an error, or I had to go back to kind of the beginning and just re-click through things for it to confirm everything and for it to work. I never had any issues to where it wouldn't actually do what I needed it to do, but sometimes it took a couple extra steps to get to that point. I know that they're working on continued firmware updates on this type of stuff all the time, but as far as function goes and it mowing this section, it did everything that it was supposed to do on this first mow. Now I have a lot more testing to do with this to see long term, how do I like it, how does it hold up, what type of maintenance and things do I need to do to it as we go along. So all of that stuff is really for the future, but this was a first look at it today and a first mow, and it was very, very easy. It took me a lot longer to just put this whole thing together than it did to map this out and then just have it start mowing. So pretty fast to get that going. I'm excited to get things scheduled and see how all that part works as well.